Boa Fouries world domination. Boa Fouries world domination. Boa Fouries world domination. Boa Fouries world domination. Yeah. Boa Fouries world domination. I'm a f***ing weirdo, ain't I? I'm Mr. Grindler, and here are my creatures. And welcome back to another episode of Mr. Grindlers Creatures. But on today's episode, we are doing like a, ask me some questions, Q&A type video. So I've always wanted to do a Q&A video when I start a channel, like always. And on my old channel, I've done it quite far in. And you're probably thinking right now, I'm about 19 videos, maybe 20 videos in. So yeah, all right, valid. It's still quite late, but just let me do this, all right? Just let me do it. So on Instagram and Facebook, I shared a story and I asked a question. So ask questions for a Q&A video on my new channel. I am looking over here because I've got the questions up on here. So don't think I'm like, staring over it like, yeah. So first question. Oh, I'm not doing that. I'm going to try and look here as much as I physically can. But I do need to read over it. I probably should have put the camera there. All right. But yeah, some of these questions have been absolutely great, honestly. Some of them have been very, very personal, which I won't be, I won't be showing them ones. I got asked quite a good amount of questions, and I don't want to make this video like massively long. So I want to put, the more tarantula focused questions on it. But, there's been some proper funny ones, which, yeah, I cannot put on a video. But anyway, thank you to everyone that asked a question. You know what, if this, if I enjoy doing this, I might end up doing another one. Who knows? Because I think I only ever done one on my old channel. So let's get straight into the video. We're not going down to the table today. We're going to stay sat in this seat and we're going to read some of these questions. So the first question, and sorry, I don't actually know who's asked these questions because I ended up cropping it down. And, when I cropped it down, it didn't actually save it as the normal image with the cropped down version. It was just literally the cropped down version. So if you guys ask this question, feel free to drop it down in the comments, because it would be actually nice to know who asked these questions. But anyway, on to the first question. So how long have you had your No, I've already done it wrong. I can't read. First question. How long have you had your passion for tarantulas? So, great question, actually. So a bit of backstory from years and years ago. I was absolutely petrified of spiders. And then I ended up meeting Craig, which was actually at work. And I ended up going back to his once, and he had a OBT. So literally in his, I think it was in his dining room. Yeah, it was. It was next to his table. And I went in there and I was just like, what is that? Like, what is that? And he was like, oh, it's a tarantula. And I was just like, no, I had shivers going down me. And I ended up, getting a bit closer, and I was having a look at it, and I was like, that's actually pretty cool. And for some reason, massive arachnophobic, I was just like, wow. And ever since then, absolutely hooked. And I think that was 2019 in June. What year are we now? 22. Yeah, 2019. Because it's been... Or has it been 3 years? I don't know. Oh my god. What year are we in? We're in 2022. 2019, yeah. June 2019. And I have an addictive personality, and I was just absolutely hooked. I had hundreds of spiders literally from the start, a couple months in. And now it's just a ridiculous amount, if I'm honest. There's just absolutely tons. Brilliant question, by the way. So, next question. What does the tarantula keeping hobby mean to you? So I don't know how this person means this. What does the tarantula keeping hobby mean? So how does all of this mean to me? I think that's what you mean. That's a great question, by the way. Honestly, a great question. So I guess there's two sides. So you got the hobby side, which well, it's all a hobby, but you got like the community side of the hobby, and then you've got the hobby side, which is more for yourself. So talking about the hobby side for myself, what does it mean to me? It absolutely. I don't think anyone will ever know how much keeping tarantulas in this hobby means to me. Because if some of you guys watched my first ever video on my old channel, when I was like a nervous wreck and I had no confidence. So from 2019 in June to now, which is, January 2022, I have gained so much confidence, just as myself, like a person as myself. I've changed so much, and I've developed. Just it's absolutely mad. Like I look back at some of my old videos and I'm just like who is that? Who is that compared to me now? And I thank all of that for YouTube, for the tarantulas, for I've learnt so many skills with photography. I'm still not perfect, but like the hobby isn't just tarantulas. It's just a combination of so much mixed stuff, and then you got the community as well. And I must admit, I was very community focused some years back, and a lot of stuff happened, and my health's more important than just getting involved in all of that. And I've gone fully off Facebook groups. I barely post in many of them anymore, to be fair. Usually like the Tarantula Collective and the Tarantula Community. And I've been using my Mr. Grindlers Facebook a lot more, because I didn't use that for about 2 years, and I've been trying to post on that every day. But I feel like myself now, where I came back from the community side, and I just concentrate on my spiders and my editing and photography, and I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I've also at the same time with the community side, I've made some great friendships through Instagram mainly, actually. So I talk to a lot of people on Instagram, and I've met some amazing friends, and I just think this hobby as a whole has changed my life. Like, it's changed my life drastically. It's made me into the person I am today. It's given me some amazing friends, and it's given me a hobby that I've never stuck with a hobby ever before in my life, and now I've got a hobby that I'm just addicted to. Like, I spend the majority of my life in this room, in the old room. I spent the majority of my life, and I probably shouldn't have, but like today, I spend so much time in it. I'm always checking on the tarantulas. I'm always feeding. I'm always recording. I'm always taking photos, and it keeps me so busy. I think that's really good for your mental health as well. Having something that you're passionate about. It's yeah. I think that answers it. I think it does. I hope it does. I really hope it. That's a really good question, by the way. Thank you for that one. What's going on? Okay, so the next question is, what was your first adult male? And I'm pretty certain that my first adult male was a Monotropis Boa Fouries, actually, because I ended up getting a pair, and then the male molted literally next molt, and the female. Honestly, I got this pair at like the beginning of the my journey keeping tarantulas. The female, I wouldn't even class her as sub-adult yet. I don't even know how many times she's molted. It's absolutely mad. And the male, the male molted first. Next molt, boom, mature male. So yeah, that was a bad purchase, if I'm honest. Really bad purchase. Okay, next question. Would you rather be able to keep only Boa Fouries or any tarantulas except Boa Fouries? Banging question. I'm glad someone asked this. I was actually talking to someone about this the other day. So, I would rather only keep Boa Fouries. If I'm being honest, I could imagine this room with just Boa Fouries communals everywhere. I would be in my element. Imagine setting up every single one of them Boa Fouries communals, all different ways. It would be amazing. I'll just sit in the middle of this room on this chair, spinning around like, oh, it's heaven. I could honestly do the rest of my hobby doing that. Like, my aim is to have a lot of Boa Fouries in the future, and I'm not going mad purchasing many other tarantulas. But yeah, easily Boa Fouries, hands down. I don't even have to think about that. That was a great question. On to the next one. What is your favourite genus to keep and why? So a lot of you are probably thinking the question I've just said, it's going to be Monocentropas. And it's not. It's not Monocentropas at all. At all. It is actually probably going to be Phomictopus. I'm absolutely hooked on Phomictopus at the minute. Absolutely hooked. The colours on them are absolutely stunning. The Phomictopus species Dominican purple. Really worries me when I hear noises next to me. It's like, but the colours on the Dominican purple, absolutely beautiful. So the Cancerides, whatever you want to call it, absolutely stunning. The Atrichomatus or whatever it is, absolutely stunning. I need to get some more. The feeding response is absolutely phenomenal with them. Like, just, I can't beat it. Absolutely cannot beat it. So, next question. I'm quite enjoying this, This is actually pretty good. I could do this again. So, any tips on mixing older and younger specimens, since soon I'll have another egg sac, in brackets, Bath. Banging question. So, any tips on mixing older and younger specimens? Right, so if you're talking about you've already got like an established communal and you have another egg sac and it's an established communal, so what I would personally do is keep it with the female, keep that egg sac with the female and raise them up for a bit. And you could always, when they get to grown on slings or juvenile size, you can then introduce them both together, so both communals together. But one thing I will say is if you're mixing an established communal with an established communal, mix them in a new communal. So it's new territory. That it just gives me that sort of peace of mind. And don't get me wrong, I might sound like a hypocrite here. So I have put a communal in an established communal already. Bear in mind that was a couple months into that established communal already. And they are still thriving today. So they are some of the smallest in there, and I still see them out and about, roaming around, and they are absolutely fine. And I would probably say I was stupid doing it, and I just wanted to see myself. But I think the risk is just, I wouldn't risk it. I've heard many bad stories about it, and even communals, mixing communal, you don't always get 100% success rate with it. Nothing's 100% success rate. It just isn't. So yeah. I wouldn't ever mix solo Boa Fouries, with a communal as well, even if you establish them into a new communal. I wouldn't do that with solo Boa Fouries, and that is something that I haven't done, and I never will, because my anxiety will be off the roof. Absolutely great question. Whoever that is, please feel free to, inbox me on my Mr. Grindlers Facebook page or my Instagram, because it'd be great to hear how you get on with that. So, next question. So, what would be your biggest tip when it comes to keeping a Bath communal? This is an absolutely great question, actually, because I get messages from people and it's like, oh, I'm worried about, starting a new Boa Fourie communal. I'm worried that they're going to get eaten, one fat, Boa Fourie. My biggest tip, this is my biggest tip, and it may sound really bizarre and really weird, but my biggest tip is do not worry. Just don't worry. Honestly, like, when I started a Boa Fourie communal, I was like, oh, are they alright? They alright? And you're panicking and your anxiety's building up and you're like, oh, like, are they alright? And now that I've had them for a couple of years, I don't worry about it, honestly. I've had some bad experiences, I've had some good experiences, but I just don't worry about it. I get messages like, oh, this Boa Fourie is acting a bit strange. I'm really worried, and then it goes into a burrow, and it's mixed with loads of other Boa Fouries, and then they're panicking and they're like, oh, like, now I can't find it, I don't know if it's all right. But half the time, like, they're just acting like a tarantula. Tarantulas do weird stuff, and I've had, honestly, great. Sorry, where was I? Oh my god. But yeah, just don't stress about it. Honestly, as long as you feed them. As long as you give them water, I absolutely adore spraying the webs because they all come out and they all have a drink that way. But, you can put a water dish in there. But as long as you feed them, you haven't got to worry. Honestly, you haven't got to worry. They're a really good communal species. And I think we're all taught that we shouldn't mix tarantulas together. And I 100% agree. Don't mix your LPs up as a communal and your Phomictopus and your Panthobius. Like, we're taught that. But then when it comes to a communal species, so say like Boa Fouries, people start to panic. And, anxiety builds up. And honestly, I just wouldn't worry. Just honestly, don't worry about it. You might have one that gets eaten. If you see one that gets eaten, take it out. I've never had that issue myself, but I know people that have. But yeah, my biggest tip is don't worry. Just don't stress about it. And everything will be fine. Hopefully. As long as you're looking after them right, it'll be good. Absolutely banging question. Thank you for asking that. Right, so the next question is, how many Boa Fouries egg sacs? I can't read, can I? How many Boa Fouries egg sacs / tarantulas have you had over all your time keeping them? This is a really hard one to answer, if I'm honest. So, when it comes to Boa Fouries egg sacs, I've had 5. I think I've had 5 in total. And one of my biggest regrets about 2021 is because of, the shit show that it was. And then we moved into here. We haven't really done any pairing for the past 6 months since we moved in here. And I feel like we've wasted a lot of time because I've had females, I've had males, and yeah, it's just been wasted. The past couple of weeks we've been doing more pairings, and I'm hopeful that 2022 we get back into it. We get many more Boa Fouries egg sacs because, I absolutely love Boa Fouries, and I want to one day have a massive, massive communal. I just want it. I want a massive communal. How many Boa Fouries, I've had in total, though? That's really hard to answer because I've got egg sacs. I've got another egg sac that's waiting, and I don't know how many are in these because I've let them open up with the mother, and I haven't rehoused them yet. So I want to say between 200 to 300 easily, 100%. You could aim for a tiny bit more. I don't know. Easily over 200 up to 300, I'd say. I'm hoping I'm going to have many more. So, next question. Let's have a look at this one. Right, other than Baths, what's your next favourite tea and why? This one, I'm going to go with Ephobosus murinus. It's always been a close second of mine. It's got a lot of sentimental value to me, and they're just absolutely stunning tarantulas. I love it. It's a bit Halloween themey, isn't it? Yeah, I like it. Ephobosus murinus, 100%. And if you haven't got one, get one, but get a Boa Fouries first. I was in my live stream the other day, and I'd done a vote, and I was disappointed with how many people said they didn't have a Boa Fouries. So, yeah, I feel like we could do better here. Right, next question. Oh my god. Right, this is one I want to know. What is the estimated value of your entire collection? Honestly, priceless. I couldn't put a price to these tarantulas. They do too much for me, if I'm honest. Yeah, priceless. Good question. And I'd never work out the value of them. Okay, so next question. Are there any species or genus of tarantula that you're scared of / intimidated by? This one's a good question, actually. So I was always a massive arachnophobic. I was absolutely petrified of them. And I think it was Craig. I think this was Craig or maybe someone else from work. But I was driving down to Tesco's, not Tesco's, McDonald's. I was driving down to McDonald's on a lunch break to go get Mackies, and driving along, and my friend goes, "Oh, there's a spider on me." I stopped the car in the middle of the road. I got out, and I was like, like proper going mad, like all like this, and there was shivers down me. It was absolutely horrifying. I was absolutely petrified of them. I used to run from them. Another massive phobia of mine is bees and wasps. I will run, literally run. Massive childhood trauma there. Massive childhood trauma. Would I say I'm scared of them now? I wouldn't say I'm scared. I would say I'm jumpy. So, you know, sometimes I could be doing stuff with tarantulas and, you know, they give me a little jump. And I actually quite like that. I like the sort of adrenaline that it gives you as well. You know, like when you get a runaway and it's just like, like, it's quite good. Makes you feel alive at times. There is one tarantula that I'm probably intimidated by, and that is probably my killer brachy's Harheini, the one that's escaped twice. So Craig dealt with it the first time, and he was even like, his adrenaline was going. He was just like, whoa. And then the second time I had to deal with it, and we both heard it stridulate. We both had it, you know, slapping, and it was just, that is not a great experience. Luckily enough, it's never going to escape again. So hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah. I would say, I don't know, maybe sometimes I can be a bit like, whoa. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm scared of them anymore. You know, I'm happily sitting in a room with loads of them, and, you know, we get them out on the table, and that's the purpose of the table, to be fair. So I always wanted to, like, you know, like take photos and, you know, do videos freehand, and the table just offers that you know, safety net of safety. So you got like the little tongue bits there. Tarantula will hit it. Sometimes they hit it, then they go up, but, you know, they're not going to go flying off a table. Let's put it that way. Brilliant question, by the way. So next one. Next question is, so merch. People have been asking me for years about merch, and yet I know I'm an idiot because I haven't done merch. And yeah, I can't say there's going to be any merch anytime soon. Mainly for the pure fact that last year was a proper write-off. I barely, you know, even managed to do all of this, and I'm just sort of easing my way back into everything. And, you know, I've got some other stuff that I want to accomplish first. But I would say look out for merch by the end of 2022. Let's say that. And like, I want to start, like, I don't know, maybe doing like posters and like a calendar for 2023 would be absolutely great. I've already got some photos in mind, but I've got a year to get, you know, photos to that. So yeah, I'd say the end of 2022. Okay, so next question. Any collaborations coming up in the near future on your channel? I think there may possibly be one or two coming up. But I'm not, I don't know, I'm not really someone that does a lot of collabs. If someone wants to come down, you know, and record a video for their channel, or, you know, record a channel for my channel on their channel, you know, I'm happy to do that. Always happy to do that. But yeah, I've got maybe one or two planned. I'll maybe go into that a bit further down the line. But technically, I'm always doing collaborations with Craig's Couchlock's Arachnophobia. Okay, next question. Do you think you will always have green hair? The answer is no. I won't always have green hair. It'll probably fall out one day. And it's been what, 2 years now since I've had my hair, I think, green. And you know, it was only ever for my 1K subscribers on my old channel, so I never actually planned on having it a long time, but I actually started to actually enjoy it. But I wouldn't say I'm gonna have it forever, no. One day I probably will cut it off, and I'll do like a video. I've always said to myself, I'd love to grow my hair long enough, dye it green, cut it off, put it in a frame, and be like Mr. Grindler, and then the year. Don't know. I'm weird. I know I'm weird. But yeah, the answer's no. It probably won't be. Next question. This is where I've added some weird questions. All right. So if you could be a piece of toast, what side would you be buttered? So I'm assuming, you know, the nice side of toast that you want to butter normally would be your front side as a person. And then your back side would be, you know, the other side of the toast. Oh, actually, no, it wouldn't. Because that would be the only end of the bread. Oh my god. Okay, so if I could be a piece of toast, what side would you be buttered? I would probably prefer to be buttered this way. Yeah. So this way, whatever that way that would be if I was a piece of toast. Yeah, that's a weird one. So this one, this one's funny because of the person that's asked it. So do you have a girlfriend or are you dating someone? And all I can say back to him is, wouldn't you love to know? The last one. is, would you say you're still in love with any of your exes? And I wasn't actually going to show this one, but then I was sat there thinking to myself, and I was like, you know, if you get with someone and, you know, you have a lot of feelings for them, you have a lot of love for them. I have love for friends. But I would say the person that I have a lot of love for, you know, is Charlotte. So she's the mother of my kids, and she's a best friend as well. She's one of my best friends. I've known her for about 12, 13 years. So I have a lot of love for her. Hopefully that answers that question. Yeah. But I have a lot of love for a lot of people. But that is it for today. So that is all the questions I'm willing to show, because it just starts to get weird. And yeah, I don't want to go down that route. maybe I'll do another one, some weird questions that are asked of Mr. Grindlers Creatures. But anyway, guys, that is it for today's episode. Honestly, some great questions. Sorry, I don't know how long this video is, so I really do apologise if it is a lengthy one. But I honestly enjoyed doing this video, and I would love to do another one down the line. But thank you very much for watching, guys. So if you could like, comment and share, that would be absolutely great. If you could hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon so you're notified of when I upload next, that would be amazing. Don't forget, I've got Patreon now, 5 different tiers, so if you want to help and support the channel. There's a link down in the description. But that is it. Mr. Grindlers down here. So are my creatures. So are my Boa Fouries, which are just everywhere. Have a great week, guys. You all deserve it. Peace.